Right, how's it going, guys? And welcome to my second lesson on price action. Today I'm going to be just discussing how to draw horizontal lines of support and resistance and how they kind of help you understand the price action and how you can actually use them to get into nice trades. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So what I like doing, let's just get rid of all of the stuff that I've done already. Let's get onto a daily chart where I always start, and then so that I don't see any candlestick patterns and get any bias, I like turning this into a line chart. Alright, okay, so let's start drawing our horizontal lines. Now, the horizontal lines are supposed to be areas on the chart that show us where major zones of support and resistance are. So when I draw these lines, especially in the beginning, I like drawing them with a neutral color that's not going to give me any bias, and then as I filter through into smaller time frames, I then start changing them and just start making mental notes about them. Right, so when you draw these horizontal lines, guys, drawing a horizontal line there is not going to help you anything. All right, the reason why is that it's only giving you information about one point on the chart. Okay, so what I like doing is I like drawing it from the left, okay, so that I can see what happened historically in this level later when I turn it into a candlestick graph again. Okay, so I like marking out the low ranges and the high ranges and anywhere where price actually seems to react quite a lot. Now, any area where price acts quite a lot on a chart would be seen as a strong resistance or a strong support, especially on higher time frames. So like on a daily, a 12-hour, 6-hour, 8-hour. Any time that the price moves into those areas, you know, it swings. And those would generally be the strongest supports or the strongest resistances. Okay. Also like looking at areas like currently where we're trading now, where price has come in and it's either been rejected or it's broken through. Okay. Now the same thing happened at the bottom over here. And then there's this middle area where there's not really a line per se, but there is a zone. So what I like doing there is I'll just mark it, and I'll mark it in a different color just so I can see what's actually going on lower time frames, and I kind of just give it a line through the average there. And what you guys must also just understand is that on a line graph, you don't see the wicks, you just see the close of the price, right? So we saw that Bitcoin actually, I mean, it was rallying in a bull rally, it then came down, printed a lower low, and then printed even a lower low. So I mean, for a certain amount of time, Bitcoin was quite bearish. We've now printed a new higher high, and we're waiting for the next low to come in. And I mean, if it is low, if it is higher than this previous low, then I would say that we've kind of broken the trend, and we will be going into its next bull run. Obviously, if it prints another low, which is in this zone, I would say we're not entirely bearish because we haven't printed another lower low, but then we might actually just be ranging. So the next 1 or 2 days will definitely give us an indication as to where we are. But just so that you guys know, I have closed my long, and I'm waiting for a new entry. Okay, so let's get these candles on. On the daily, what we can see is price coming into certain areas. So this, I would say, is a very strong resistance line. Price has come into this area once, twice, and has been rejected. And in this circumstance, it didn't actually act as support. And currently here, we're just waiting to see, if it's going to be a support or a resistance area. All right. For this area, we're looking at major support. Every time price has come into this area, buyers have come into the market and actually pushed the price back up. So this area for me is a very strong area of support. So on the daily, I already know that this is major resistance being the high, and the price is only tested it once. This one, in my opinion, still resistance, and we'll see what happens, whether we close in the zone, and then maybe start printing higher highs, or if we close in this zone and actually start looking at new lows. And then this area for me, definitely super strong area of support. And then this one as well. I mean, even though the price has come down and it's printed, like long wicks, I'm going to mark this one as serious support as well. And you'll probably see, like on a 4 hour or on a 2 hour, just how much support this one is. All right. So from here, I then move into a 6 hour chart. And the 6 hour chart obviously just confirms quite a lot of, what I was discussing earlier. But what I like now doing on the 6 hour chart, I like just changing my lines up so that they don't, just randomly go through certain areas, but that they actually, clip the top of that wick and then actually go through a few bodies. Like this one over here, I'll probably bring down just a little bit so that it's got some wicks and it's got a bit of a body there. I might even actually bring it down to show that this area was a strong resistance area, and that resistance has turned into strong support. And obviously, because it was shown this way on the daily and on the 6 hour time frame, I would then obviously say that these zones that I mark out now are seriously support zones or seriously resistance zones, because price reacts, violently to each area every single time, the market moves into that zone. So this one over here, I'll just pull down a little bit so that we got like some bounces from the wicks and through a few bodies. The top one we already changed, and then this one, just bring it down a little bit just so that we can see this area here. And it does come in and it violently gets pushed back down. So I'm happy with how I've drawn my horizontal lines now. And as you can see, price here in this area, especially where we are now, every single time we've come into this area, price has pushed us down. It has acted as support once. It tried to act as support a second time, but it didn't hold. And once it didn't hold, it became serious resistance. So we have tested it once again, but price got thrown back down to lower support. And now we've come back up and we've tested this area. So for me, I mean, right now, this is a very, very strong level. And if we do manage to close above it in the next 2 days, I would say that it's definitely, turned into very strong support. So let's take a look at that. And then what I then do is I go down onto the 2 hours. Now I like trading on 2 hour time frames, as you guys have probably heard in the groups that I moderate in. And one thing that I do like getting, why I like getting into trades on 2 hour time frames, is especially after I've done a little bit of research in 1 hour and 6 hour time frames, is that I know where safe entries are. Now a safe entry, when you're going to be going long or when you're going to be buying into a market, would be at an area of support. Now I wouldn't recommend getting into a trade here. I mean, if you are risk adverse and you don't mind getting into a trade here is very risky, because it is shown as strong support, but had it broken, it would then definitely be strong resistance. So getting into a trade here is super risky. Getting into a trade here in this area is actually quite nice, because we have broken above the area and then it has been supported. So getting into a trade here, knowing that you have strong support, gives you just that little bit of a more confident trade. When you've got these areas up here, like right now, we have broken above this area of resistance. Like I said, I'm still looking at this as an area of support. You could get into short trades in this area as well, knowing that this line or pivot point isn't really, I mean, it supported us once and it's resisted us twice on the lower time frames. We have consolidated there. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if price did test it again, just to make sure that it is really strong support. But yeah, like I say, let's see. Getting into a short trade here is not a bad option, especially if you did get them at the top. But it would be a short-term trade, and it would just be to make, a small gain, as price would try and test this area that we just broken into, with the stop loss just above there, knowing that you have major resistance. That we're going into an area of major resistance. So yeah, that's it. That's just like a basic roundup of how I look at trades and how I like getting into trades, and how I understand how the market moves in certain areas, and how I use daily, 12-hour and 6-hour time frames to mark up my zones of resistance and my zones of support, so that I know exactly where to get involved in a trade. And where to get out of a trade. So yeah, that's it, man. What I will be doing is I will start bringing in trend lines, and how I use trend lines to get into trades as well. But that'll be in the next video. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this, and leave any comments down in the box. Like it, obviously, if it did help you. And yeah, man, help me grow the channel, guys. Thanks a mil for listening. Also, I will be posting it in our crypto cartel group in the classroom section. And then if you guys do have any questions, just hit me up in the discussion, and yeah, I'll try to help as much as I can. Cool. Take it easy, guys. Ciao.